Hi guys, welcome back. It's a new video and a new sport. Still a new channel, still looking into more than just the Premier League, of course. So today we're looking at UFC 252 and we're going to preview the main card in particular and go through what I think, in my predictions, what I think is going to happen. But of course, as we all know, anything can happen in this sport. But yeah, let's make a start. So starting off with, we're looking at the lightweight bout between Jim Miller and Vince Pichel, both coming off wins over the same guy, I believe, Roosevelt Roberts. Jim Miller submitting him and Vince winning via decision. It's a very interesting fight. It's a really tough one to call. Of course, Jim Miller being a southpaw, Vince being a orthodox. We all know they love to throw hands, but we also know that they're more than capable of getting the job done on the ground as well. I think it's a tough fight. It really is. The odds on betting sites and everything is very close as well. They're both going to be at £155, 2 inches in difference in height in favour of Vince. Pichel, 1 inch advantage for him as well, but he's the year older. So yeah, I'm fancying Jim Miller here, and I'll tell you for why. Although they do like to throw hands, we also can see here from the UFC stats that Vince Pichel is averaging per 15 minutes 4 takedowns on average. And yeah, that's pretty good. It'll look good in the scorecards, but we all know Jim Miller loves a submission victory. I mean, of course, his last fight being an armbar win, I believe, over Roosevelt Roberts. I just think it's a very, very risky move to take Jim to the ground. If he does, Jim will be looking straight away for a submission. So, but yeah, I don't know. They may decide to stand. Vince may decide to stand to avoid this risk. But yeah, it's a really tough one to predict, and I'm going to lean very slightly towards Jim Miller here. But it's a really tough fight, and make sure to let me know what you think below. Moving on to the next matchup, and for me it's a fairly easy choice in my opinion, although the betting companies and all that are saying differently. They think it's a lot closer than I think it will be. I'm not too bothered about this fight, if I'm being honest. I think it's going to be a comfortable decision win for Merab Dvalishvili. That's a tough one. I'd hate to be the commentator for that fight. But yeah, I just think he's got the advantage over John Dodson in several aspects. First of all, he's got the height and reach advantage. He's also the 7 years younger, I believe. According to the UFC matchup stats, we're looking at Merab having more strikes per minute thrown. And yeah, just looking at the takedowns, wow. Takedown averages per 15 minutes. We've got Merab with 8.67 in comparison to John Dodson 0.76. What we can take from that is John Dodson at 35 years old is going to look to throw hands, and for me, if Merab's got any common sense about him, he's going to use his wrestling and take him down to the ground, and just he's going to win somehow. And I just think I'm leaning towards decision there. But yeah, for me it's Merab Dvalishvili winning that one by decision. I just think he's just going to look to take him down. He's got no interest in throwing hands with John Dodson, because we know how lethal he can be throwing his lethal hands there. So yeah, for me, pretty comfortable decision win for Merab, probably a 30-27 for me all round, but we'll just have to wait and see, because of course we can't take anything away from John Dodson, because we all know every fighter's got a punching chance, so we'll just have to wait and see. But for me it's Merab winning this one all the way. So we move on again, and we're now into the heavyweight division, and what could be a very exciting fight, also an anticlimactic one potentially. I just don't know. I can't see it going the distance either way, whether it's a Junior Dos Santos knockout win or a Rosenstrike knockout win. There's no way, surely. This is going the distance. I think I'm leaning towards Rosenstrike. I just think Dos Santos, now at his age, I just think he's maybe on his way out the door slowly but surely. I mean, coming off 2 losses in a row to respectful losses, to be fair, to Ngannou and Blades. Rosenstrike though as well, we just don't know what that loss to Ngannou, his first one in his career, he was 10-0 before that last fight, will have done to him mentally and in preparation. We'll just have to wait and see whether that's a good thing or bad thing, because I was thinking overrated's maybe not the word, but he was definitely overconfident going into that fight with Ngannou, that he just didn't fear Ngannou's hand, and he paid the price with that brutal first round knockout. So yeah, we'll need to see how he reacts to that, but I just think Rosenstrike will be desperate to bounce back. Junior Dos Santos is getting to that age now where people are starting to question his chin and question whether he should still be fighting in the UFC at heavyweight. I can't see anything other than the Rosenstrike knockout here. So I mean, I could be wrong, but we'll just have to wait and see. But that's my opinion. I just think Rosenstrike will be too much for him at the younger age. So yeah, let me know what you think below, because again, that's a controversial one. Next up, we're at the co-main event, and a very, very interesting fight, and I cannot wait for this one. We've got Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Chito Vera. Undefeated O'Malley coming into this one. This is probably his biggest test to date. We'll see what he's really about here, because we all know Chito has fought some of the very best in his long UFC career. It'll be very good. I mean, Chito's been leaning towards his striking more recently, I've noticed, as well. So, I mean, will he want to throw hands with O'Malley? I'm not too sure. I would love to see him take O'Malley down, because I've not seen O'Malley tested too much on the ground. I want to see if he is worth all the hype surrounding him at the moment, because we've seen him strike with guys and knock them out, but I would love to see what his more of his grappling and more of his wrestling side and his defence work. So yeah, I'd love to see that. I don't know if it'll happen. I think they might end up striking it out, throwing hands. It could be a fight of the night contender. I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I've got to fancy O'Malley. I think if they do start trading hands, I think O'Malley, with the reach and height advantage, will just catch him. But again, can't rule Chito out of this one. He's a real veteran. He's fought some of the very best. So yeah, it's time for O'Malley to step up and see if he's the real deal. We'll have to wait and see. Now finally, the main event for the heavyweight championship of the world. Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier. Man, what a fight. It's going to be tough. But it's a trilogy. They're both 1-1 against each other, both by knockout. I mean, I literally have no idea what's going to happen here. I've not looked at folks' predictions for this one. I've not looked at stats. I know Stipe obviously has the height and reach advantage, of course, but I mean, we've seen that does not matter from the first fight when Daniel caught him in round number 1 and knocked him out cold. So yeah, I'm just hitting this one off the cuff, and I don't think it particularly matters to the other heavyweights, because of course it's strongly believed that Cormier is going to retire after this fight either way, whether he wins or loses. There's also rumours of Stipe doing the same, so it could potentially be the belt might be up for grabs for a couple of fighters to come up and take it. In terms of striking, you've got to go Stipe. I mean, Daniel took a lot of damage in that second fight, unnecessary damage as well. I thought a lot of the time it could have been avoided. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't use more of his wrestling, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does that here, Daniel, because obviously with that height and reach advantage, he'll be desperate to go out on a high. I'd imagine he'll go to what is one of his strongest points, which is his wrestling. but we both all know Stipe can wrestle. We've seen what he done to Francis Ngannou. Stipe knew the threat that Ngannou posed with his hands. He took him down. He wrestled him. He got the win via decision. So I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. It's a tough one, man. I mean, Daniel, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he tries and takes Stipe down, especially if we're thinking. I'm thinking maybe this could be a fight of the night, fight of the year contender, where this goes to a decision. So if he does take Stipe down to get a couple of takedowns, and it could be pivotal to the cards. So I'm going to lean towards Cormier. I'd love to see it happen as well, in terms of him going out as champion and going down in history as one of the greatest. But yeah, I mean, I just think Daniel will be a wee bit smarter than the last fight. As I say, he took unnecessary damage and didn't use a single ounce of really his wrestling. I just think he'll use that. Although Daniel knows Stipe can wrestle, but Daniel will fancy himself all day long against him. And yeah, I think Cormier by decision. It's controversial, but to be fair, literally anything could happen in this fight. We've seen that both have knocked each other out. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. In terms of what it means for the future, I don't particularly care, as obviously, of course, there's rumours of them both retiring. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see in that aspect of it. But yeah, I'm going to lean towards DC. Yeah, but don't get me wrong, it's a tough fight for both. And they'll both be going for a very tough camp, especially if they're both considering retirement. But yeah, I'm going to give the edge to DC, but as I say, anything could happen in this fight. I have no idea what the tactics are going to be. I just think Daniel Cormier's going to fight some more and sneak a victory by decision, I think. So yeah. So that is it. That is the UFC 252 main card covered. I've gave you my predictions and my opinions. I'd love to hear what any of you guys think below. Leave your comments, like, subscribe, and yeah, try not to roast me too much, because as we all know, anything can happen in this sport. Anyone can win. So yeah, leave your opinions below, and make sure to subscribe and follow on for further discussions and debates in all different sports. Till next time, all the best.